Hello aspirants, very warm welcome to you. My name is Madhusudan Reddy and I shall be taking up the Geography and Environment component. In today's lecture, we are going to cover up our next theme, that is theme number 9, Indian Geography 1. Indian Geography is divided into two parts, that is Indian Geography 1 and Indian Geography 2. Here we are going to cover up the Geography of India 1, in which majority of the components are factual in nature. So I also want you to keep an atlas along with you. While watching this lecture, wherever I tell, I also want you to focus on that atlas as well. Because this is one chapter where mapping comes into picture a lot. There is lot of hard work that you have to do from the factual area. Now let's see what are the chapters that you are going to cover, or what chapters you are supposed to cover. Number 1, go to class 6. Go and read chapter number 7, that is Our Country India. In this chapter there are very finite dynamics of facts which are given. Where is the extent of India from north to south, east to west, what are the boundaries of India, what are the boundary names, as well as some little nitty-gritties that are with respect to the factual area. Next chapter is go to class 9, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Chapter 1 talks about the size and the location, and a similar kind of a chapter is also India location. It is the repetition of these chapters, but in a very refined way you will get to see in class 11, and little broad overview you will get in class 9. So here India size and location is a similar kind of chapter in class 11. Physical features of India is also a similar chapter to the structure of physiography. Drainage is also a similar kind of chapter in class 11. So class number 9 chapter 1 to 3 and class number 11 chapter 1 to 3. These are the chapters that you are supposed to read, right? So let me also show you what exactly is there in these chapters. See here, you come to size and location, that is class number 6. They'll simply say that what is the size of India, how big is India, now where is India located, very fundamental facts, right? So the extent of latitudes, the extent of longitudes, right? These are the aspects that shall be covered here, right? Now in terms of the north-south extension, that is the northernmost latitude that India has is 37 degrees 6 minutes, and the westernmost is 68 degrees 7 minutes, 97 degrees 25 minutes. Like that, our southernmost point and southernmost points. These things are factual in nature. That is what is all about your chapter. Now come to class 9 chapter number 2. This class 9 chapter number 2, it also not just talks about the chapters, talks about the various physical features. Where is the mountain found, what kind of lifestyle is this people having, what are the major landforms that you will get to see, what are the major national parks. And come to chapter 3, it is drainage. In this drainage, they'll tell you what is a watershed, what is a water divide, some fundamental aspects with respect to that river that are there. But finally, they also come to the source of a river to end of a river, how the river travels its journey. That is, this is called as the upper course in the Himalayas, and middle course where the river tends to meander, and lower course where the delta forms. So the three stages, this is called as the youth stage, this is called as the matured stage, this is called as the old stage. One has to have an idea about youth, matured and old stages as well, right? We'll also discuss about that, and we'll take an example of a river and then we'll discuss, right? So here some facts about each of the river also you need to know. Now come to class 11 chapter 2. This is a very detailed chapter about the structure and physiography, how the India is divided into Peninsular block, Himalayan block, and then the Indo-Brahmaputra plains. So the topography of India you are supposed to know. Likewise, it also talks about the introduction to India. This is a very easy chapter. The north-south extensions, this is one chapter, very basic chapter, which is a repetition of the earlier chapters. So don't worry, I'll be covering up in a detailed manner. Again, when it comes to the drainage chapter, here as well, you need to know about the right bank tributaries, left bank tributaries, how the rivers are moving, how the rivers changes their course, and what kind of landforms and the people life forms. In a nutshell, we shall be covering these particular chapters. All together, I'll combine, and along with me, I also want you to keep an atlas with you. And please make sure to watch this particular lecture along with the atlas. Now first, I wanted to tell you about the formations of India. Then we'll go into little more details. You have learned about continental drift theory. You also know about plate tectonics theory. Seafloor spreading theory also you have learned. So here in the formations of India, the India was once present in the southern continents. This is called as Gondwana land. Slowly the India started to move, and then India went and collided with the Eurasia. When the collision took place, the rise of the mountain started. Right? This is how the Himalayan formation took place. Can I say the formation of Himalayas are nothing but the collisions of the continent collisions have taken place? Yes. Now there are different types of Himalayas as well. In other words, if you look into, this is how the formations of Himalayas have taken place. India went and collided with the Eurasia, which has led to the rise of the mountains. Right? This is how the formations of the Indian continent took place. Watch it again. You will have a good idea how the collisions have led to the formations. Now here, while you are watching this video, can I say that once the size of India was bigger, after the collision, the size of India became little smaller. Now watch it here. Again watch it. You will have a better idea. Look at this. The plate size of India, can I say it was little bigger? But after the collision, the size of the Indian plate got shrunk. Yes. See here, watch this first fact. The size of the Indian plate became smaller. And whatever the crustal folding, the crust of the continent of India which got folded, that is how you get to see the rise of the Himalayas. Right? These are the formations of Himalayas. Now today we have different set of Himalayas. You have different names of these Himalayas. Before we understand that, first let's look into the location aspects of India. Keep your atlas open. Wherever I say you have to look into atlas, you have to look into atlas. Right? First thing, when you look into the topography of India, this is how it looks. Firstly, the entire India can be divided into various regions. What are those various regions? I'll tell you in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But look at this. This is a plain area of India. This is the desert region of India. Now this is the peninsular region of India. And these are your Himalayas. India has varied topography, but here you need to know what is the extent of India from north to south, east to west. The extent of India, when you compare from north to south, it is 3214 kilometers from north to south. From east to west, the extent is 2933 kilometers. Now you tell me, the length of north to south is more or east to west is more? Obviously, the length of India from north to south is more. Now what is the latitudinal extent? The latitudinal extent is, if you take India as a whole, from north to south, this is north and this is south, it is 3214 kilometers. And here 37 degrees 6 minutes. And this is 8 degrees 4 minutes is the mainland of India, and you will also have 6 degrees 4 minutes in the other, that is our Andaman Nicobar is also there, but I'll come to that. From east, this is west to east, it is, this distance is 2933 kilometers. Right? So this is how the extension of India is. Right? Now the extension of India, the length of north and south is more. Likewise, there are other aspects that you need to know. What is the easternmost point? What is the westernmost point? These are the aspects that have been written in your NCERTs. So very basics, let's try to look into this. The northernmost point of India, that is 37 degrees 6 minutes. The northernmost point of India is called as Indira Khol. Khol means, in a glacier, the lowest point of the glacier is called as the Khol. That is called as the Indira Khol. Right? That is your Indira Khol. Now come to the southernmost point in the, this is your 8 degrees 4 minutes, that is Kanyakumari. Kanyakumari is the southernmost point. When it comes to the westernmost point, the latitude is 68 degrees 7 minutes and the place name is Guhar Moti, that is Guhar Moti in Gujarat. Now come to the easternmost place, this is in Arunachal Pradesh, that place name is Khibutu. Khibutu in Arunachal Pradesh. Now the latitudinal extent is 97 degrees 25 minutes. And one more thing, you know the northernmost point, southernmost point. Now come to the southernmost point of India with respect to the entire India, that is your Indra point. Indra point to Indra Col. Our northernmost point is Indra point and our southernmost point is your Indra point to Indra Col. Indra Col is in glacier, Indra point is in Nicobar Islands, right? It is not, the southernmost point is Kanyakumari. Kanyakumari is on the mainland of India. It is on the continental land of India, right? Likewise, I want you to open your atlas and check what are the places through which the Tropic of Cancer passes through. Through how many states the Tropic of Cancer passes through. Look into your atlas and let me know through how many states the Tropic of Cancer passes through. It is from west to east. If you look into, the Tropic of Cancer passes through Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, please look into Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. Total it passes through 8 states and one more state, Rajasthan. The southern tip of Rajasthan also is the place where the Tropic of Cancer passes through, right? Tropic of Cancer passes through 8 states. Now what are the names of these 8 states? 1. It is Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Tripura, Mizoram and West Bengal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in total 8 states where the Tropic of Cancer passes through. I also want you to point them in the atlas. Now a small homework for you. You can also let me know how many capitals are present. There are 8 states and how many capitals of these states are present north of Tropic of Cancer and how many are present south of Tropic of Cancer. See, those capitals which have their presence in the north of Tropic of Cancer are 1. Rajasthan, Tripura and Mizoram. Baki jitne bhi capitals hai, they are present south of the Tropic of Cancer, right? That's it. Now here you also need to know the boundary lines of India. The boundary lines of India are 1. Look here. India has multiple boundaries. The boundary between, international boundary between India and Pakistan is called as the Red Cliff Line. This Red Cliff Line. Now it enters into Kashmir. Beyond Kashmir, what is the red boundary line? The boundary line here is LOC. Line of control is the boundary line between India and Pakistan in the Kashmir area. But rest of the Kashmir area, it is the Red Cliff Line. It is Red Cliff Line. This is how India is. The current map of India, when you look into, it is having a disputed area between India and Pakistan. We call that as Pakistan occupied Kashmir because it is occupied by Kashmir irrespective of India's claim, right? After the independence. Now likewise between India and Bangladesh also, this is also called as Red Cliff Line, right? The other boundary line between India and Pakistan can also be called as LOC. Now LOC is a line which starts from here. This is your LOC line of control, right? And that part of area which is currently under the control of the Pakistan, this is called as Gilgit Baltistan. Okay, this is currently under the control of Pakistan itself. This part of the area. This part of the area is even today under the control of Pakistan. Okay, right? Now rest of the current control of India, it is the current control of India in the Kashmir, in the Ladakh region, is only this. This is the current control of India in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Now those part of the eastern part of the line of actual control is a line which demarcates between China and India disputed areas. So here the line of actual control, which is also called as LAC, is line of actual control. It is the line which demarcates between the disputed areas between India and China. Now you have another area which is called as Shashgam Valley. See, this valley is given as a gift to China by Pakistan, which is a territory of India which is given by Pakistan to China as a gift. Siachen Glacier is at the central point. See, look at this. This is your Siachen Glacier. This is your Siachen Glacier. Now, Siachen Glacier is present between North Shashgam Valley, Gilgit-Baltistan, and line of actual control. And on the south, this is our Ladakh. So that's why Siachen is very, very important to us. Any road that connects to Siachen is very, very important to us. So line of actual control is a line between India and China, and the Aksai Chin is the region where China wants to control, and currently it has its control. India do not have control on this part of the territory, right? And India do not have, as of now, do not have the control on the POK, that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Pakistan has occupied this. This is the current map which we have the control on the area of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, right? But what India claims and what it is that this is our land. This is the India's landmass. Okay? This is your entire India's landmass, which is a disputed region between Pakistan and China, right? So what is with us? With us is only this region. We have divided this region into two union territories. One is Ladakh Union Territory and Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory, right? So currently we do not have control on this part of the area. Whatever the black color demarcation region that you get to see, this is where the control of India is, right? Rest of the area is a disputed. Likewise, you also have certain disputed places across China and India. I'll be naming the points. I want you to look into them in the atlas. You will not find them in the atlas. What you can do is you can Google them and get to learn about little more. This is how you are going to study in the advanced classes, right? So some places can be asked from the exam also. First one is Daulat Begi, Oldie. This is the place where India's highest airport is there, or else runway is there where it can launch its big aircrafts. Come to the next hot spring area, Pangongso. This is a lake. This is also a disputed place. These are the major places that are disputed between India and China in the north. Like that, there are 12 points that you need to know, right? Now come to the eastern region. Eastern region is, this is your northeast region, right? The northeast region is a region. This India is divided by the McMahon line. This is your McMahon line. McMahon line is a line which divides India and the Tibet, the Tibetan part of China, right? This is the McMahon line. India recognizes the McMahon line between India and China, right? Likewise, if you go and look into, India has disputes between its neighbors. These are the some important facts that you need to know, right? Now come to the other important facts. What are the boundaries of India in the Oceans. See, the boundaries of India in the oceans is divided on the basis of UNCLOS. That is, I've already given you as a homework in the last classes to go and look into this. That is United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. Now this says that from the coastline, see, from your baseline, from baseline to if this is your baseline, from baseline to 12 kilometers, it is your territorial water. This is your territorial water, and all the laws of India shall be applicable here. Now from 12 to another 12 kilometers, this is called as contiguous zone. Here India's laws will not be applicable, but India can go and explore the minerals here. Now from the baseline till the 200 nautical miles, this is where India can go and explore its mines and minerals. Now this is the place which is called as exclusive economic zone, EEZ. So likewise, if this is the continent of India, this is the continental landmass of India, India can have its rights extended into the deep, right? Extended into the deep of the oceans. Till what kilometers? It is 200 nautical miles. Nautical miles is a distance which will be measured by the sea, right? Okay, like that, if you broadly look into the boundary lines of India are like this. This is the oceanic boundary lines, right? These are the oceanic boundary lines of India, right? That means this is exactly the India. This is Kashmir and Northeast India. Right. So we can explore the mines and minerals which are present in the ocean till here. We need not require anyone's permission if you wanted to do it. Right. So ocean also has its own boundaries. Now look here. Look at this particular area. In your atlas also you can keep open. Look into the northeast. The border between India and Myanmar has how many states? How many states has border with Myanmar? Be it Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, and do you have the border of Myanmar with Tripura? No, but Tripura has border with Bangladesh, right? Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. These are the states that are going to that are having border with the Myanmar, right? Okay. Just a minute. And you know, we wanted to connect between in New Delhi and to the Bangkok. This is called as Act East policy. We are acting east. That is India, Myanmar, Thailand cultural that is trilateral highway, which is also a cultural highway. There is a road that is being built. They wanted to connect the east of India, which India is constructing its road. This is also called as Act East policy of India. Now these are the some fundamental facts that you need to know. Apart from these fundamental facts, you are supposed to know about the physiography. Now let's try to understand the concept of physiography of India. See, your NCERT also says that you need to know about the physiographic regions. This is physiographic regions, right? Physiographic regions. India can be broadly divided into three major physiographic regions. One, Himalayas, the Peninsular India, and then the northern plains. I also want you to keep your atlas along with you, and while I show you, I also want you to study it in the same way. Look here. India's physiography can be broadly divided into one. This is your Himalayan region. This entire region is your Himalayan region, right? This is Himalayas. And this part of the region is called as northern plains. This is your peninsular India, right? But peninsular India can also be further subdivided. Your northern plains, how they are formed, your India, how did it form? You already know, that is, Indian plate was present in the southern hemisphere and India came towards the north, and in the due process India went and collided with the Eurasian plate, and it has led to the formations of Himalayas. Now within this Himalayas also you have three different types of mountains, or three different types of Himalayas. One is the Great Himalayas, then you have Lesser Himalayas, then you also have the Shivaliks. Okay? These are Shivaliks. Apart from this Great Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks, you also have other mountain ranges, that is Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar. This is Karakoram, this is Ladakh and Zanskar. Sometimes examiner will ask you, arrange the mountains from north to south, that is Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Shivaliks. Right? This is how you will get to see. Then you have northern plains. See, this is the part of the desert. India, this is your desert. Rajasthan, which is also called as Marustali. Right? Now come here, you have mountains by the name Vindhyas, and the other chain of mountains that you will get to see is Satpuras. Right? This is Vindhyas and this is Satpura. Satpura is a collection of 7 mountain ranges. Satpura. 7 small mountain ranges will be there. And this part of the region is called as Deccan Plateau. This is your Deccan Plateau. And there are also mountains in the south by the name Southern Hill Complex. This is called as Southern Hill Complex. You also have islands. This is your island, Lakshadweep. And you also have your islands, that is Andaman Nicobars. These are your islands. And the mountains in the northeast, they are called as Patkai Bum. These are called as Patkai Bums. Okay? So, this Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar, they are called as Trans Himalayas. Right? Then you have Great Himalayas, then you have Lesser Himalayas, then you have Shivaliks. You have Great Plains of India. These are your Ganga and Brahmaputra plains. Your plains also extend into this area. Right? Come to little more south, you found these are your highlands. This is called as Central Highlands. These are called as Central Highlands. You can also take a pen and a paper and draw it on the paper. Please, this is how you are going to learn about India in detail. That is, in the north, Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, then Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. Then you have northern plains. These northern plains are Ganga and Brahmaputra plains. Right? Here, this highlands, which is called as Central Highlands, this is your desert region. And then Central Highlands, north of Madhya Pradesh is the region. These are your Vindhyas, this is your Satpuras, this is your Deccan Plateau, and this is your Southern Hill Complex. And there is a chain of mountains that you will get to see. This chain of mountains in the western region, these are called as Western Ghats. And there are also mountains which are there on the eastern side. These eastern mountains, they are called as Eastern Ghats. So I'll call this as Eastern Ghats. These are your Eastern Ghats. And these are your Western Ghats. See, look how beautiful the India is. It is full of topography. You name a mountain, you will have it. You have a mountain, you have snow, you have desert, you have river, rainforest, you also have plateaus, you also have thick vegetation all over. That's why India is also called as a subcontinent. India is also called as a subcontinent. So this is how the entire India is. Now what we'll do is we'll try to learn each of this topography. In terms of physiography, this is your Himalayan region, this is your peninsular region. Your peninsular region consists of what all? Peninsular region consists of Deccan Plateau. It also consists of the southern hill complex. You have Western Ghats, you have Eastern Ghats. Apart from this, you also have one more, that is Western Coastal Plain area. Next to this Western Ghats, you also have the Western Coastal Plain area. Western Coastal Plains kaha jata hai. Then you also have the Eastern Coastal Plains. See here, the Eastern Coastal Plains are wider. The Eastern Coastal Plains which are there, these are wider, and the Western Coastal Plains are narrower. The mountains of the Western Ghats are incontinuous. The mountains of the Eastern Ghats, these are your small mountains, the height is not too high, they are not continuous. In a nutshell, this is what is your India, right? I'll step aside from the board. I want you to take little time, think for 30 seconds and try to imbibe the physical structure of India. You can also look into your atlas and try to identify them in your atlas. I'll step aside from the board so that you can have a overall view of India. In the north, it is Himalayas, Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar. They are called as Trans-Himalayas. In little come south, you will have Greater Himalayas. See, this Greater Himalayas are also called as Himadris. They are called as, this Greater Himalayas are also called as Himadri. The Lesser Himalayas are also called as Himachal. Okay? And these are Shivaliks. The highest height of the mountains is always seen in the, I'll step aside so that you can have a complete picture. The highest height of the mountains is there in the Greater Himalayas, that too in the central part of the Greater Himalayas. Now this central part of the Greater Himalayas is called as the highest region with a height, on an average height of 6,000 meters. Mount Everest is also present in that Greater Himalayas itself, in the Nepal part. Lesser Himalayas, jiska height kam hai, its height is little less. Shivalik's height is very less. Northern plains, they are found because of the deposition of the plains. Deserts are also the areas where there was once entire sea water was present in this area. Entire sea water was present in this area. And this is your northern plains. This entire plain area was formed because of the river Ganga. This river Ganga, it started from here and then it led to the formations Brahmaputra, and this is how your Indus flows into Pakistan. So this is the beauty of India. You need to know about the drainage, rivers and their tributaries. You need to know about the physiography in detail. Shall I move further? Can I move further? Okay. Let's go. First thing, see, you can also divide India, the entire Himalayas. Let me show you the first Himalayas and then I'll come to each and every aspect. Look here. Look at this map. This is how your Himalayas look. How tall they are. But these Himalayas can be further subdivided. How can they be subdivided? They are like this. See, there are multiple rivers that are passing through these Himalayas. One, in your atlas, you will also find there are rivers by the name. You have Brahmaputra flowing in this direction. This is your Brahmaputra. And from here, you have your Indus entering into Pakistan. Okay? This is your Indus. Apart from that, you also have a river by the name Sutlej. This is Sutlej. This is Kali. Okay? And this is river Teesta. Right? This is river Teesta. On the basis of these rivers, we divide the Himalayas into Western Himalayas. The Himalayas which are present between Indus and Sindh, we call this as Kashmir Himalayas. The Himalayas which are present between Sindh and Kali, we call them as Kumaon Himalayas. The Himalayas between Kali and Teesta, we call them as Central Himalayas. Right? And the Himalayas which are present between Teesta and the Brahmaputra, we call them as Northeast Himalayas. So these Himalayas are divided on the basis of the rivers. And look at the topography of the Northeast. This topography is very beautiful topography. And this is how literally you will get to see the formations of the river. That is, this is the Brahmaputra river. This is how the Brahmaputra goes. And your Ganga, this is Ganga. wherever the river goes, it is always coming from, it enters into the plain area in the lower regions, right? And in the northeast you have mountains, in Nagaland you have Naga Hills, in Manipur you have Manipuri Hills, in Mizoram you have Mizo Hills, in Arunachal Pradesh you have certain set of mountain ranges. I'll tell you what are these mountain ranges when you go into Arunachal Pradesh. That is, again in your atlas you will find about in the north. When you look into Arunachal Pradesh itself, there are 4 major mountain ranges, and these mountain ranges are named after their tribes. That is Mishmi tribe, you also have Miri tribe, you also have Mikir tribe. This is in Assam. Likewise, there are other tribes, that is Abor, Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla. Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla. Mishmi tribes, you can also repeat after me. I'm going little higher than NCERT and I wanted to teach you all of this. One is Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla, Mikir. Now these are the 5 major mountain ranges that you will find in the northeast region. Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla, Mikir. 5 mountain ranges, all of these are named after their tribes. Mishmi tribe hota hai Mishmi hills mein, Abor tribe, Mikir tribe, Dafla tribe, and here you have Mikir and Miri. So in total, these are 5 major mountain ranges which are present in the northeast region. Apart from that, you go to Meghalaya. This is your Meghalaya. You also open the map of Meghalaya, you find 3 major hills. One is Garo Hills, Kasi Hills, Jaintia Hills. Garo Hills, Kasi Hills, Jaintia Hills. These Garo, Kasi and Jayanti are the 3 major mountain ranges of the Meghalaya. Meghalaya is a plateau. In fact, the Meghalaya is the extension of the plateau of Peninsular India. Right? This is Meghalaya plateau. And this is the place where you find 2 beautiful mountain ranges that can give you a rainfall of 1000 ml, 1000 centimeters. That is Chirapunji and Mosinram. See, this Chirapunji and Mosinram are present at a height of 1438 meters plus, and this is 1435 meters. They are almost present at the same height, and they are at a very good height, and these mountain ranges, they'll receive a rainfall of 1000 plus centimeters of rainfall. They receive a rainfall of 1000 plus centimeters. Such high rainfall, because of that the cultivation is very difficult here. Crops cannot be cultivated. Even if they are cultivated, these crops, they will wash off. Only water intensive crops are there, and soil cannot be present there. Soil will be washed away because of that rivers and because of that water. Okay? So in spite of this heavy rainfall, cultivation of crops is very difficult here. That's why the cultivation of plantation crops will be done here, right? Cultivation of plantation crops can be seen here. This is how the aspects are in the northeast. Likewise, I want you to understand the divisions of the river, how the river divides and how are they divided. Look at this. I told you that there are names that are given to the mountain ranges. The names that are given to the mountain ranges are the horizontal divisions of the mountains. See here, the Himalayas, if this is your Indus river and this is your Sutlej river, this is your Sutlej, this is your Indus, right? This is your Kali river. Kali is present between Nepal and India across the Uttarakhand boundary, and this is your Teesta river, and this is your Dihang river, right? Let me write it here. This is Kali, this is Teesta, and this is your Dihang. See, this particular class is more of factual content. It is you observe, and or you can also make a short notes while I teach here. You can draw similar kind of maps and put them onto the paper, right? So the river names are, see, the area between them, the mountain ranges that are present here are these mountain ranges. All these mountains, they will be called as Punjab Himalayas, or they are also called as Kashmir Himalayas. And the mountain ranges between Sutlej and Kali river, they are called as Kumaon hills. They are called as Kumaon hills. The mountain ranges between Kali and Tista, they are called as Nepal Himalayas, or they are also called as Central Himalayas. Nepal Himalayas or Central Himalayas. When it comes to the Tista river and Dihang river, they are called as Assam hills, or they are also called as Northeast Himalayas. In total, the rivers divide the mountain ranges, right? This is how the divisions are there. Now, once come to these divisions, you have to understand in little more detail about the Himalayas. See, the Himalayas are further, when you are looking into the Himalayas, you have done on the horizontal divisions, but vertical divisions bhi aapko janna chahiye. These vertical divisions are, in the north you have Karakoram. These are Karakoram mountain ranges. I am talking about Himalayas. I am drawing Himalayas. Now these are Ladakh. Then little south you have, these are Zanskar. Okay, this is your Zanskar. Then you have the Himalayas of Greater Himalayas. The height is more. This is Greater Himalayas, which are also called as the Himadri ranges. Then there are different mountain ranges in the name of Shivaliks. There are different mountain ranges in the name of Shivaliks, and you also have Lesser Himalayas. Lesser Himalayas names can be 1. They are not continuous. Okay? See, these are your Lesser Himalayas, which are also called as Himachal. They are your Himachal. The other name for this is also your Lesser Himalayas. Right? These are Lesser Himalayas. Lesser Himalayas in Punjab, they are called, in Lesser Himalayas in Kashmir, they are called differently. Lesser Himalayas in Himachal, they are called differently. See here, in the Kashmir ranges, in the Kashmir, they are called as Pir Panjal. And here they are called as Dhauladar. And then you have come little south. These are small hills. The height is not too much, and these ranges are called as Shivaliks. That means your Himalayas are how many? Himalayas are Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. Lesser Himalayas are also called as Himachals. Their names in Kashmir are named as Pir Panjals. In Himachal they are called as Dhauladars. Likewise, you will go to the Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar. These are called as Trans Himalayas. These are called as Trans Himalayas, right? Whereas this Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks are actual Himalayas, right? Now, in how many states are these Himalayas present? You please let me know in the comment section, or you can let me know and drop a message in how many states are the Himalayas present. I wanted to ask you a question, that you know the India map now, you know the India map in detail, right? So I want you to ask a question, that if you are traveling from, let's try to address this question. Okay? If you are traveling from, let's say that you are traveling from Kerala to, let's imagine that you are traveling from Kerala to Nagaland. Okay? You wanted to travel from Kerala to Nagaland and you wanted to use the road route itself. How many minimum number of states that you are supposed to cross to reach Nagaland? How many minimum number of states that you have to cross in order to reach Nagaland, if I am excluding the origin state and the destination state? You give me an answer, right? You can also drop this answer to this particular number as well. My name is Madhusudan Reddy and this is my personal contact number. You can also drop, no calls, only messages. If there is anything important, drop a message. I'll definitely get back to you in the next 24 hours itself. So my question is, if you are traveling from one of the state, that is, let's say that you are traveling from the state of Kerala to Nagaland, right? How many minimum number of states that you are supposed to cross? If I am excluding the state of Kerala and the state of Nagaland, how many minimum number of states that you need to cross in order to reach to this particular Nagaland? You give me an answer to this. Okay. Options are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No aerial route. I know many students will say that, sir, मैं हवा में जाऊंगा, I'll drop. No, you have to go by road and how many states you have to cross. Now come back. Are you clear with this? Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, then you have Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks? Yes. Okay. With this, I want you to move one step further and try to understand the northern plains. See, what are these northern plains? This is your northern plains area. Your northern plains area is this. All the way it starts from Rajasthan till the Brahmaputra plains. This is your northern plains of, right? This northern plains can be further subdivided into upper Sutlej and Yamuna plains, upper Ganga plains, middle Ganga plains and lower Ganga plains. See, it is very simple. Northern plains are further divided into, look at this, this is Ganga river. This is upper part of the Ganga, middle part of the Ganga, lower part of the Ganga. Likewise, there is also a river, Indus, which is flowing into Pakistan. A tributary of Indus is your Sutlej, which is moving like this and enters into Pakistan. So this Sutlej and Yamuna river is also found here, Sutlej river and Yamuna river. So they are called as Sutlej Yamuna plains. So you have Sutlej Yamuna, upper Ganga, middle Ganga and lower Ganga plains. These are your northern plains. These northern plains are present in the Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and these areas, right? Uttar Pradesh it is present, Rajasthan it is present, it is also present in Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, and then comes to West Bengal and some parts of the Assam as well. They are divided like this. If you are going from north to south, your northern plains are divided like this. In the north, you will find Shivalik hills. These are mountains, right? See, next to these mountains, there will be boulders that will be falling. There will also be big boulders which will be present at the foot of the Himalayas. Now, this region is called as Babbar region. Look at this Babbar, bade boulders. Now, imagine if a river is flowing through this area, ऐसा लगता है river is absent. It seems like the river is absent. क्यों? क्योंकि river पत्थर की बीचों में से जा रहा है. So it feels like the river has not been present here. The river is absent. Next comes the Terai region. This is the region where it seems like the river re-emerged. Imagine the river is passing like this. In this, the river seems like an absent, because if a person is standing here and watching it, for him big boulders are seen, but the flowing river may not be seen if he is seeing from the far distance, right? Come to the next region, the northern plains region. The next region is like this. It is called as the Terai region. Terai region is the thick vegetation region, right? Terai region is the thick vegetation region. Now northern plains consists of 4 major areas. One, if these are your Himalayas, next to this, these are your rocks, big boulders. If a river is flowing into this area, it seems like the river might move beneath these rocks. Now, as soon as that river comes out, the river is seen by a person. If you are watching that, the river is seen outward. So this is the place where we also call that the river resurfaces. This area will have good vegetation. Tigers will be present, mosquitoes will be present, Terai region is there, rainfall will be there. Now rainfall in this region is not much. And here deposits of the rainwater, river water and the Himalayan rivers are also there. So this is Terai region. Leaf litter, little forests also will be there. Nepal, Madhesi region is in this. Uttarakhand's Jim Corbett National Park is in this. Now come, imagine from here, let's say the river is flowing outward. Okay, this is the river which is flowing out of the board now. Let's imagine the river is flowing out of the board. When the river flows out of the board, imagine next to this river, the area which is freshly formed. Every year you know that this particular river, it is going to flood. Imagine that this water, this year there is flooding that has caused, and in the flooding season this is the level of the water. Wherever the river floods, and river will get some deposits through it channel, right? Now those deposits, if they are formed here, imagine if these are the deposits that are formed here, these deposits are called as khadar. The soil which is formed here is called as khadar, which is also called as the new alluvial. This is called as the new alluvial soil, right? Khadar is the new alluvial soil, right? Likewise, you will also have the old alluvial soil. Old alluvial means if suppose the river floods to this height, it can happen once or twice in few years. So these are your old alluvials. Bhangar is your old alluvial, Khadar is the new alluvial, right? Wherever the river goes, somewhere around 8 kilometers of the distance is the place where the river can flood occasionally, seasonally. So that's why this is called as Khadar, new alluvial. Now this is Bhangar, the place where the areas which are present next to the Himalayas, these are called as your Babbar, Terai. And if this is a river flowing here, this river, here you'll have Khadar on either sides, and then you'll have Bhangar, right? So can I say, as we go from north to south, Shivaliks, Babbar, Terai, Bhangar, can I say this is Bhangar and this is Khadar? This is how the northern plains mitti or alluvial soils will be. Now these northern plains are divided into, number one, you have already seen the divisions are like this. One, it is Uttar, the plains are divided on the basis of the river and their names, that is Satluj Yamuna plains, Upper Ganga, Middle Ganga, Lower Ganga, and then you have a Brahmaputra river, so this is called as Brahmaputra plains, right? Are you clear with this? Now let's go little more south. Let's explore this part of the area. Now this is called as the Vindhyan ranges and this is called as the Satpura ranges, right? इस विंध्यान और सतपुरा की बीच में जो रिवर जाता है ना, this river is called as Narmada river, right? Narmada river flows between Vindhyas and Satpuras. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, we are done with this. Now let's go little more south and study in little more detail. You're clear with the Himalayas and you are also clear with the northern plains. These are your northern plains. And then you have Vindhyan mountains and you have Satpura mountains. As I already told you, there is a river which is flowing. This is Narmada. You also know about the Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla and Mikir hills. The other mountain ranges in the northeast, they are called as Patkai, Bum, right? Now let's go to the southern part of India. See, your southern part of India is very interesting aspect. This is a very interesting aspect. It has, number one, on this side you have Western Ghats, the mountains of Western Ghats. On this side you have mountains, but these are not continuous. They are not continuous mountains. They are a group of mountains, then you have a gap. Why do you have this gap? You have a gap because you have a river. This is your Godavari, this is your Krishna, this is your Kaveri river. So the rivers are the ones which are creating the gaps between the mountain ranges in the eastern side. So this is your mountain ranges. Let's say, if suppose this is your Godavari river, this Godavari river actually originates in Maharashtra. Krishna river also originates in Maharashtra, right? Kaveri river also originates in the Western Ghats. All the rivers which are flowing towards the east, their origin is in the Western Ghats. The mountains which are present on the western side, they are called as Western Ghats. See, the Western Ghats are having a unique entity. That is, they are taller in the south, and as you go towards the north, they become shorter. These are present in the Gujarat as well. They are also present in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, and Kerala. Right? They are present in Goa, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Kerala. These are the states. In these states, the Western Ghats are present, and they are also present in Tamil Nadu. Right? The place where Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats meet, this place is called as Nilgiri. This is your Nilgiri hills, Nilgiri mountain ranges or Nilgiri biosphere reserve. There are mountain ranges on the Eastern Ghats. These Eastern Ghats all the way range from Tamil Nadu to, they also even go to the Odisha also, right? So here they are having different names. There are Javdi hills, there is Shivaroy hills, Nalla Malla hills. Like that, you have multiple names for the Eastern Ghats which are located in different hills. One is Javdi, Shivaroy, Nalla Malla, Yarramalla. Let me repeat it: Javdi hills, Shivaroy hills, Nalla Malla, Yarramalla. These are the major mountain ranges in the southern, in the Eastern Ghats. Now come to the southernmost tip. The southernmost tip is these mountains. Let me show you the mountain ranges in the southern hill complex. It is come to the southern part of India. In the southern part of India, you have 4 major mountain ranges. They are: 1. You have Nilgiri. Nilgiri is the place where the blue flower, Nilgiri is named after flowers. See here, there is a flower by the name Neela Kurunji. It flowers once in 12 years. That is called as gregarious flowering. Gregarious flowering means the entire region flowers blue color every 12 years once. And this is Nilgiri. Nilgiri is named after the flower Neela Kurunji. Right? This is Nilgiri. This is Anna Malai. This is Cardamom hills, and then you have Agastya Malai. See here, Malai means mountain, right? Malai means mountain. The highest peak of the this Western Ghats is also seen in this part of the area. In the Ooty you will get to see, right, the highest peak in this mountain ranges itself. That means in the southern area you find this hill complex, and here you have Western Ghats. And we have already learnt that there is a rain shadow region. Your central part of the area is a rain shadow region because there is not much rain that you are going to get to see in this part of the region, right? Now these are your Eastern Ghats. They are not continuous, right? These are your Eastern Ghats. This is how the southern part of India is. And between these mountains you have rivers flowing in. Let's say this is a river. Then let's say this is a river. Likewise, you have rivers. Wherever rivers are there, they will not have the mountains there. They have cut down. And either eastern side and western side of these mountains, see here, the eastern side and western side of these mountains, you have plain area. See, this is your plain area. This entire region is a plain area next to the coast. That is called as coastal plains. Likewise, you also have a plain area, but this plain area is very large. The width of the plain area is very big as compared to the eastern plains. Now let me show you. This is your plain area. The green color, I'll call this as coastal plains. Right? The eastern coastal plains are wider and the western coastal plains are narrower. Right? So the names of the western coastal and eastern coastal plains are like this. See, Goa coast is called as Konkan coast. The mountains in Maharashtra, they are also called as Sahyadris. Whereas when you come to the Kerala, this part of the coast is also called as Malabar coast. Malabar coast. Kerala coast is called as Malabar coast. Now come to the Tamil Nadu coast, this is called as Coromandel coast. Andhra Pradesh coast is called as Northern Sarkar coast. You go to Odisha, this is called as Utkal coast. See, coastal areas on the eastern side, there is good availability of water. अच्छा पानी है क्यों, rivers are getting, the delta formations are taking place. So that's why you have good rice growing areas on the eastern coastal areas. And this Western Ghats, they receive very good rainfall. How much rainfall? 250 centimeters of rainfall. But Western Ghats are full of mountains and the width of this particular coastal plains is only 8 kilometers. But the width is here 30 kilometers to 50 kilometers also. You have the width of this coastal plains. So very large scale growth of the rice and other cultivations can take place here. But here only a wider, narrower continental coast, so you have the different lifestyles and living styles here. Both the fishermen are dependent upon the coastal area itself, right? So this is how the topography of the southern area is like this. So let me repeat it here. These are your Western Ghats. These are your Western Ghats. And here this is your Southern Hill Complex. Southern Hill Complex has Nilgiri, Annamalai, Cardamom, Agastamalai. Southern Hill Complex has Nilgiri, Annamalai, Cardamom, Agastamalai. Then you have Eastern Ghats. See, these Eastern Ghats are not continuous. They are non-continuous. There are Javdi, Shivroy, Nallamalla, Erramalla. Likewise, these are your eastern coastal plains. These coastal plains are wider and depositions are too much because of the river. And the Western Ghats, there are no major rivers that are flowing through the Western Ghats. Only small rivers will be there. But the major source of the water for the eastern region is coming from the Western Ghats itself. This is how the topography of the Deccan Plateau is, the Peninsular India is. Now I want you to take to little more central part of the area and show you that here you also have a plateau. Here you have a plateau. In between, this is a raised platform. This is called as Deccan Plateau. This is Deccan Plateau, right? In between you will have a plateau that is called as Deccan Plateau, right? So let me show you the map here. Coastal plains, look at this. One, you have the Gujarat coast is called as, this is called as Kathiawar coast. This is Konkan coast. This is Malabar coast. And Coromandel coast, Andhra's coast is also called as Northern Sarkar coast. And this is Utkal coast, right? So this is how the coastal areas are there. Wider coastal area and this is narrower coastal area. Clear? Right. So with this, along with this, I wanted also to explain you, there are some gaps which are present in the Western Ghats. See, these gaps are also to be understood. Gaps are nothing but when you have the series of mountain ranges, these mountain ranges sometimes are divided by the winds. Look at this. Imagine this is your Western Ghats. Let's imagine this is your Western Ghats. In your Western Ghats, these are the mountains. in between there is a small area by the name pass. This is a small area where there is a gap. Imagine if the clouds are moving in this direction. Let's say the clouds are moving and they wanted to deflect, but these mountains will not let deflect that. So that's why the winds will pass through these particular gaps. Winds will pass through the gaps, and these gaps help in bringing good rainfall. The clouds will pass through this gap and they bring good rainfall. Right? So this is what is the importance of the gaps. In the Western Ghats, the name of the gap is Palakkad Gap. This is Palakkad Gap. The Western Ghats have Palakkad Gap. Right? Where do you find this Palakkad Gap? Let me show it to you. The Palakkad Gap is present in the south. It is present in the Western Ghats between Coimbatore and a place called Palakkad. Between Coimbatore and a place called Palakkad. Likewise, you go to Maharashtra. This is how the Maharashtra topography looks. Wherever there is a small gap, let's say that here there is a small gap, your monsoons which come in tomorrow's session, in the next session I'll tell you, this is how the monsoons enter. They find a gap and they enter. For the monsoons to rise, these mountains, they will not let the winds to rise. As soon as they rise, there is rainfall. So that's why monsoons always happen very good in areas where you have the gaps. Okay. Now this is what is there in your NCERT chapters. Look here. The NCERT chapter talks about the same things. Our country, the Peninsular India. What does the Peninsular India? It is simply which is written in different areas. Can I show you this map of NCERT? And you identify the names of these mountain ranges. Vindhyas, Satpuras. Right? These are your Vindhyas, Satpuras. The Great Indian Desert. Look here. This is Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Shivaliks, like this. I also want you to draw the map of India and try to learn accordingly. And northeastern mountains are Nagaland, Naga Hills, Mizoram, Mizo Hills, Manipur, Manipuri Hills are there. Then you have Garo, Kasi, Jayantiya and Meghalaya. You also have Vindhyan ranges, Satpura ranges. I already told you about Deccan Plateau. This is your Deccan Plateau. Then Western Coastal Plains and Eastern Coastal Plains, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. This is what they have written in your NCERT alluvial deposits. Same thing. Look at this. This is the coastal area. Images. They wanted to make it little more interesting, but nevertheless, it should not take, all this chapter should not take not more than 2 hours for you. Once after this class, things have to become little easier for you. Right? Now come to the structure of the physiography. They said that in your NCERT, the structure and physiography is one peninsular block, Himalayan block and the Indo-Ganga-Brahmaputra plains. These plains are called as northern plains. Right? And the Himalayas and other peninsular mountains. Himalayas and other peninsular mountains are nothing but Vindhyas, Satpuras, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. Then you have Javdi, Shivroy and Nalamalla, Erramalla, Nilgiri and other Cardamom, Agastamalai, these mountain ranges. Right? Peninsula block. So in total, Indo-Ganga Brahmaputra plains you have learnt. You also learnt about the Himalayas and other mountains. Your NCERT has given this diagram. They also said that coastal plains, Indian desert, coastal plains, islands, all these are the same content that we have discussed. Now come to the further topics, that is nothing but your drainage. Okay? Your drainage. See, the Indian drainage system can be broadly be divided into two types. That is, the drainage system of India can be broadly be divided into two types. And when you learn about geography in this manner, don't you think the problems of this particular area you will be in a better position to understand? See, for example, let's say that you are having mountains. The disasters that are going to place are landslides, in the coastal areas, cyclones. How will be the lifestyles in the northern mountains will be there. See, in summers they will be hot, in winters they will be cold, and you will also have snow. So people will be moving from up and down. They'll go from the top of the hill, they stay during the summers, they go take their cattle and they stay on the top of the mountain. As soon as the winter comes, the entire region gets snowed. So along with their all the animals and all, they come to the lower heights. This is how the movement will be there. And people who are there in the higher hills, their lifestyle is majorly dependent upon sheep. They rear the sheep, they get that cattle and bakarwals, gaddis, rearing the sheep and getting the wool and selling it outside. That is how the lifestyles of these people are there. Same in the tribal. So in the northeast also, Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla tribals are there. So in India, you have good number of tribes in the Himalayas. But here we have to understand the concept of drainage system. See, this drainage system can be divided into two types. One, the Himalayan drainage system. That means you have the rivers Indus, you have Brahmaputra, you have Ganga, you have Yamuna. These are the major rivers of the Himalaya system. That means these rivers are originating in Himalayas, right? Next, the Peninsular river system. This Peninsular river system, majority of them originates in the Western Ghats and some in the Amarkantak plateau. This is a plateau by the name Amarkantak. You will find these rivers. I can divide the river system of Himalayas, entire river system of India, into Himalayas and Peninsular. We'll try to understand what are the major rivers that are found in both of them. And here in this, you need to know a story of a river. See, the river always goes through multiple stages. These multiple stages, while it is passing through, it will lead to different kinds of landforms. See, the river in its youth stage, river will always be in its youth stage at the place where it is originating. Okay? I'll show you two examples. One, let's go to the Ganga river. Okay? One, look at the river in northeast. See, this is your river. A river can also be present in this form. It is not a straight path, but it is having braided channels. इसे कहते हैं braided channels. This is having braided channels. Look at the river. River is having multiple pathways. The width of the river can be somewhere around 4 or 5 kilometers. That is the braided channel. This is one stage of a river. But I'll also take you to a river in the young stages. In the young stages, in the sense the river will be very, very young in the early stages. Let's imagine I'm taking you into a place where the origins of the rivers can take place. See, this is also a river. How thin it is. The width of the river is very narrow. Now, if I take you little more north, you will be surprised that the river, from one end of the river to another end of the river, you can literally jump with your bare foot. That is how the river will be. A river goes through multiple stages. See, the river, its origin, let me show you. A river, while it is going through its lifetime, river its origin point, it will be in its youth stages. Imagine, let's say Ganga. Ganga has the life stages like this. This is the place where Ganga originates. In the young stages and in the youth stages, this Ganga will flow with great speeds. It will cut down any mountain if it is coming in between. And the same river, when it enters into the matured stage, जहाँ पे plain area में आने के बाद deposition ज़्यादा होता है. And as soon as it enters into old stage में सबसे ज़्यादा deposition होता है. Young stage में, if there is a mountain and if a river is flowing, it will cut down the mountain. It will break the mountain into pieces after few years. But as soon as it comes to the matured stage, in the matured stage, the river starts to meander. Deposition will take place. Once the river comes to the old stage, it is about to join the sea, it is going to behave differently. Now, there are multiple rivers that you will get to see. These multiple rivers, they can be further divided into peninsular rivers. And look here, this is the drainage basins of India. This is how the drainage basins of India looks. Indian rivers and watersheds. Let me put my stencil onto the board here and you please understand, this is the Ganga basin. Okay, this is the Ganga basin, right? Majority of the northern parts of India are drained by Ganga, and this is Brahmaputra basin. Okay, and Ganga and Brahmaputra, they join. Look here, this is your Indus and its river, Indus and its tributaries. Indus has tributaries by the name Indus river has tributaries, that is Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Sutlej. Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Sutlej. These are the tributaries. A river and its tributary, if this is a river and its tributaries together, a river and its tributaries together, you'll call it as a basin, drainage basin. Like that, India's major drainage basins are this. Let me show it to you, that this is your Ganga basin, right? This is your Brahmaputra, right? This is your Brahmaputra. Now let me show you the other basins. This is your Krishna. This is your Godavari. And the small stream is this one, is called as Narmada. This is your Narmada. And this part is Luni river basin. And this red color is called as Kaveri. Right? Likewise, you see the majority of the southern part of India is drained by these two major rivers. Krishna, this is entire Kaveri. Krishna, Godavari and Kaveri are the major rivers of southern part of India. Northern Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus. And here you will get to see some small streams and other small rivers. So for each of this river, you are supposed to understand the major, you are supposed to understand the tributaries of these rivers. Okay? You are supposed to know the names of these rivers and the tributaries of these rivers, right? So look here, a river can have multiple shapes. A river can have multiple shapes, but you need to know the tributaries of each of this river. Let me quickly show you how the river Indus looks. This is how the river Indus looks, right? This is the Indus river, which originates where? Which originates in Bokarchu Glacier. This is Bokarchu Glacier. From here, it enters into India and enters into Pakistan. Now, Indus has tributaries. I said there are many tributaries, but you only need to remember them. That is Indus, Jhelum, Chenab. This is Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Sutlej. See, this Ravi, Beas, Sutlej are given to India, and Indus, Jhelum, Chenab rivers are given to Pakistan. That means this water can be utilized by Pakistan, and this water is 100% utilized by India itself. So even we can use this water, but you should not stop the flow of the water. This is the Treaty of Indus. So it originates in Bokarchu and it moves. What are the tributaries? These tributaries are Gilgit, Kabul, Tochi, Gumal and Zoab. ये सारे याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Only you need to know the place of the origin and the place of the drainage and some major important tributaries, left bank and right bank. Now, how do you decide this is left bank and that is right bank? The tributaries of left bank and right bank are decided by number one, the direction in which the river is moving. Imagine this is the direction of the river, right? This is the direction of the river. Right of the river is this. I'll say this is your right bank. This is your right bank. This is your left bank. But look here, this is the direction here. So here, this will be the right bank and this will be the left bank. The direction in which the river is moving. Likewise, you need to know the tributaries of each and every river, right? Majority of the river. But when it comes to Ganga, look here, Ganga के लिए आप कुछ नाम याद रखना जरूरी है. That is, you have wherever the Ganga origins and the places associated with Ganga. This is little factual in nature, but definitely you have to spend this time. That is, in the advanced classes, I'll make you learn in the classes itself. You can look into the modules of Reddy sir. You'll understand how beautifully it will be taught there. Here, this is your Badrinath, this is Kedarnath, this is Gangotri, and this is Yamunotri. Right? See, Ganga river is called as Ganga from where? When the Bhagirath meets with Alaknanda. See, this is your river Alaknanda. This is the river Alaknanda. From Badrinath it comes and joins with Bhagirath. From here, this point is called as Devaprayag. यहाँ से river Ganga को Ganga कहा जाता है. This is the river Ganga. Ganga river is called as Ganga when the Bhagirath and Alaknanda, both the rivers come and join. Right? So, this is called as Devaprayag. There is also Yamuna river originating at Yamunotri. Gangotri pe you will have an origin of Bhagirathi, and you have Mandakini originating at Kedarkant and Badrinath Alaknanda. So all these rivers, when they join with each other, there are names and prayags that are given. That prayags sometimes can be asked in the examination. So Badrinath, at Badrinath you have Alaknanda. Alaknanda river, if it is meeting with Dauli Ganga, it is called as Vishnu Prayag. Now Alaknanda is called as Alaknanda itself. If Alaknanda is meeting with Nandakini, it is called as Nand Prayag. Alaknanda, if it is meeting with Nandakini, it is called as Nand Prayag. Likewise, if Alaknanda is meeting with Pindar Ganga is a river, it is called as Karna Prayag. If Alaknanda is meeting with Mandakini, it is called as Rudra Prayag. Alaknanda meets with Bhagirath, it is called as Dev Prayag. Likewise, these are the prayags that you are supposed to learn. Very factual orientation hai. So here you are supposed to remember that. Now come to the river Ganga and its tributaries. So how to remember all of these things? There are some techniques. Techniques are, you make some mnemonics. This is the beginning, you're just reading NCERT. So as of now, you try to draw the maps. Don't try to get it from internet. I want you to look into the atlas and draw the tributaries. Please draw the maps by yourself. For example, this is Ganga. I'll show you how to draw the Ganga. See, this is Ganga. If you ask me, I'll draw the Ganga like this. What is the shape of the Ganga? The shape of the Ganga is like this. Now try to draw the tributaries and share it to me. I'll evaluate and I'll also give it to you. You have my contact number, that is 7382552230. On this number, you can drop a message that, sir, is this map right or not? I'll definitely look into it and revert back to you. See, this is the river Brahmaputra. This is Ram Ganga. This is Gomti river. This is Gagra river. This is Gandak river. And this is Kosi river. Right? Ram Ganga, Gagra, Gandak. Okay? So likewise, you need to learn these names of the tributaries. Okay? So every river, please try to write it like this. Now let me show you the tributaries here. 1. This is Ram Ganga, Gomti, Gagra, Gandak, Kosi, and this is the major river of Ganga. So for this, how to remember all of this? Make a story. Let me tell you the story. See, there are some mnemonics that you can learn. This is Ram Ganga. This is Gagra. This is Gandak. This is Kosi. There are some mnemonics that you can make. The mnemonic that I can tell you, it might be sounding funny. You can make your own mnemonics. That is Ram Jane Gomti ka Gagra. This is Gomti. Gomti ka Gagra Ganda कैसे हो गया? राम जाने गोमती का गगरा गंदा कैसे हो गया? राम मतलब राम गंगा, गोमती गोमती रिवर, गगरा गगरा रिवर, गंदा गंडक, कैसे हो गया? कोसी. So this is one of the way you can remember the tributaries, right? Now what are the right bank tributaries? Right bank tributaries दो तीन ये तो याद कर ही सकते हैं. एक तो यमुना है, यमुना is the right bank tributary. और यमुना का tributaries जो है, look, this is your river Yamuna. Yamuna goes and meets Ganga at a place called Prayagraj, which was earlier called Allahabad. That is Prayagraj. Now, Chambal, Betwa, Sindh, Ken, Chambal, Ken, Betwa, Sindh, Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Ken. These are the major tributaries. And last is Sun. So, our right bank tributaries of Ganga are, one is Yamuna, other is Son river. ठीक है, these are the two right bank tributaries. But Yamuna का tributaries भी आपको जानना चाहिए, that Yamuna tributaries are none other than Chambal, Betwa, Ken, Sindh. 4 रिवर. सो ऐसे याद करना है, फैक्चुअल है, इसमें मेरा काम बहुत कम है, बट आपको ड्रॉ करना है. ठीक है. कम टू ब्रह्मपुत्र ऑल्सो. यू कम टू ब्रह्मपुत्र. इन द ब्रह्मपुत्र द मेजर ट्रिब्यूटरीज आर 1. See here, Dihang and Dibang. When both the rivers come and meet, this Brahmaputra is called as Dihang, and Dibang, that is where Lohit or Dibang, when they meet, this is where it is called as Brahmaputra. Now this Brahmaputra has a unique shape. It goes like this. Look at this. I'll draw the names, or this is called as Subansiri. This is called as the small rivers. It has Manas. This is your Manas. And this is Sankosh. This is Tista. Now let me write the names of this so that you can also write it. This is your Manas. This is Sankosh. This is Arnadi. This is Bareilly. This is Subansiri. This is Siang. This is Dibang. Now these are the names of the rivers. So here what are you supposed to do is draw this map and look into the atlas. Right? Sankosh, Manas, Arandi, Bareilly, Subansiri, Siang, Dibang. These are the right bank tributaries. Now let's go to left bank tributaries. Majorly the left bank tributaries are Dhansiri, ठीक है, and Dihang. These are the major tributaries. और Koppili एक छोटा सा river है. Let's try to write it here. Right? These are the right bank tributaries. I'll give you, you can also pause this video and draw the same map. You can also mention this particular river, that is Dikohu. नाम याद करना मुश्किल है, बट आपको करना है, या कुछ निमोनिक रख लो ताकि इस निमोनिक से आप कुछ ना कुछ नाम याद कर सकते हो. You can remember using the mnemonics. Right? Okay, I'll step aside. Yes. Now let's go to the next river. Come to Peninsular India. See, those were your Himalayan rivers. Now come to Peninsular India. Peninsular India, you have Godavari river, you have Krishna, Kaveri. These are the major 3 rivers. Narmada river, which flows onto the western side. So it is not important to learn all the river tributaries. For example, you go to Narmada, tributaries of Narmada, small streams there are too many, but you need to remember few streams, at least few streams that are important that you need to remember. Now let me show you the Kaveri river. This is your Kaveri. Look at Kaveri. The names of the tributaries of Kaveri are Arkavati, Shimsha, Hemavati, Talakaveri. Likewise, these are the left bank tributaries. Right bank tributaries are 1. Lakshman Tirtha, Kabani, Bhavani, Noel, and Amaravati. You can pause the video and draw the map. Okay, it is better to draw the map. Please look into the atlas or just pause the video and draw the map, whatever is there on the screen. Right? So this is how you are supposed to learn. ये factual content है, तो इसमें आपको कुछ काम करना पड़ता है अपना एंड से. Here the work of the teacher is less. The teacher can make you remember this, but you are still in the NCERT stages. In the further classes, I'll teach you in the main classes, or in the advanced sessions, I'll be teaching you. ठीक है? So in the advanced classes, you can also drop me a message here itself. If you would like to go extend our relationship beyond this NCERT, you can also drop me a message. I would be more happy to serve you in the main classroom. I'll link up with current affairs. For example, you look into this, Kaveri is always there in the news. In the Kaveri, you'll come across the fishes and dams. Look at this, the total number of dams that are built on the Kaveri. Yellow color dots are the dams. So we'll study about the linkages, that why the highest number of dams are there in the lower regions. What is the issue of Tamil Nadu? What is the issue of Karnataka? Now why Bengaluru, though it is not part or nearby this river, but Bengaluru is fighting for this river. So these are some aspects that are there in the current affairs that you need to know. So any fish that is there in this region, that also you need to know. Here this is your Kaveri river, and a beautiful fish that can be asked in the prelims exam, which is not there in the NCERT. This also you need to know. So that is like this humpback mashir fish, which is there. This fish can be asked in your examination, which is found in the Kaveri river. So like that, the tributaries are important for you. You just need to know. Now look at Narmada. Narmada's tributary is one very Narmada's tributaries are very good number of tributaries you will find, but not much important. But look at Mahanadi, Hasdev, Mand, Ib, Sionath. Sionath, Hasdev, Mand, Ib. These are the tributaries. Sionath, Hasdev, Mand, Ib. These are the tributaries of the Mahanadi. And right side, Jonk, Ong, Tel. These are the tributaries. Jonk, Ong, Tel. You can pause and make a map of this. And a small homework for you, I want you to take down a river called Godavari, draw the tributaries and share it to me. I'll evaluate your ones, how you draw. You can also look into the various aspects. Now this is it in the drainage. In the further sessions, I'll be discussing in a detailed manner about the other aspects, right? So here, this is the map of the Krishna. You can also drop me a message as well. I'll be sharing this map of Krishna with you. Okay. In totality, this is your Krishna river. Krishna river, how you are supposed to draw is, you look into the atlas. This is just a sample which I am trying to show you how to draw it and how to remember it for the further time periods in the advanced courses. See, this is your Krishna river. You need to know what is the important reservoir which is present here, and if it is in use, that can be asked. This river is reservoir is located on which river? This reservoir is located on which river? This type of questions can be asked. So this is how you are supposed to draw. So it's a small homework for you. Please draw it for Godavari. Okay. Now look at Krishna. This is one tributary I'll be discussing last. Look at Krishna. This is the river Krishna. Okay. From here, this is called as Krishna river. The tributaries are, number one, Pima river is a tributary, Dhoni river is a tributary, okay? Tungabhadra is a tributary, Dindi, Halia, Musi, Palleru, Munneru. Dhoni, Bhima, Dindi, Halia, Munneru, Palleru. So I'll step aside. It's a small homework for you. I want you to spend on your own, because everything you cannot rely to clear UPSC examination. 90% of the hard work is yours, in which 30% of the hard work will be shared by the teacher. Rest 60% of the hard work is yours. Around 5% of luck factor will be there. 30 to 35% it is teacher's hard work, and rest of the 60% hard work is yours. So don't always rely upon कोई और आपको मदद करेगा, आपको खुद को करना पड़ता है यार, ठीक है? So this is a small homework for you. For Godavari, I want you to do it, and you can pause it and look into the Krishna river. And here I stop this particular session. In the next session, we are going to learn the more topics in a detailed manner. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to teach to you, and I would be looking forward to you in the geography optionals as well, which is a very interesting chapter with very interesting subjects. And in the further classes, we shall be meeting more often. In the next session of the Indian geography, I'll be teaching you the monsoons and other topics. Thank you, and see you in the next session.